Recently, I've become obsessed with a new mobile game called Meow Tower, and I felt like making the stuff from that. So to start, I make the first thing of today, which is the cat Momo. To start with this, I get two balls of white clay and just kind of pinch out some ears, and then kind of like a tail, and then I connect the two pieces together. I make sure to blend in these seams completely and entirely so that there is nothing visible, no gaps, bumps, just anything at all. Once this is done, I begin to refine the shape, making sure that the ears look nice, the seam looks better, the shape is good. Then I pinch out little arms, legs, four of them, refine the shape of the ears again, make the hind legs, and then I add in some white balls to add on some masks to the legs, starting with the hind legs and blending them in again so that there is no seam at all, nothing, not the slightest indication or hint that anything had ever been there or not there. This happens to both of the hind legs, and I curl them up so that it's more sitting, I guess. And then the same thing happens to the upper legs, except once these are done, these get pushed straight down so that the paws are in front of them. This happens to both arms, both upper legs, and then after that, I make a tail. The tail happens in the exact same way with zero differences. And after that, it's on to the next bit, which is the eyes. The eyes are just black dots, and then the nose is just a black triangle, I guess, with smoothed off edges. And then the mouth is a V shape, which is just a worm that gets put into a V shape and put right under the nose and gets pushed in so that it looks great. After that, I make two types of dots, gray dots, which go where the gray dots go. And then after I have all the gray dots, go the orange dots, which is basically just the same thing except in different locations. And once all the orange dots are done, that's the first cat done, and on to the next one. Except for the part where once I finish this one, I begin to fix up the shape and do a lot of stuff because I realized that this was not in fact long enough for a video. So I decided to make more. 2 more in fact. The first one we will be making is Dusty, which is a black cat, so black clay, except because black is used on the design, just very dark gray, and it starts in the same way as before, with 2 black circles, one gets pinched out ears, one it doesn't get anything pinched out this time, they get blended together, and then once all the seams, gap, ridges, bumps, bruises, anything at all is gone, I begin to refine the shape again, which is just making more refined ears, and pinching out arms, pinching out legs and a tail spot, starting out with the tail spot, and then the hind legs, and then the front legs. Once all of these are pinched out, I do the same thing I did before, again, and pinch out a bunch of balls that then get attached and blended in to the arm stubs, the leg stubs and the tail stub, but same thing. These get the same treatment, the same design. It's practically the same exact thing, where they just get blended in, and then pushed into the correct position, and then blended in, and then put into the correct position. Yeah, it's really the same thing over and over again. However, this was okay. It was kind of fun. Once all of the arms are placed on and blended in the correct position, I push them down, same as before, and just kind of, it's kind of sitting down there, And then once those are done, I add on the tail. Well, actually, no, I'm refining the ear shape right here, pushing it in slightly so that it's not just straight from the head. This is where I add the tail, and it gets blended in as well, and curves slightly so that it goes in a specific direction. Once that's done, I refine the shape again, and then I add the 2 yellow eyes this time, because it's a black cat. Then the black nose triangle, as same as before, and then an open circle as a mouth. Well, it's more, it's just a filled-in circle that gets pushed on there. After I have the base shape of the cat done, I need to make headphones. And to start doing that, I make 2 circles of black, then make little things sticking out of them. And then on the back of that, I get 2 red balls because there are 2 ears. And I place them on the back of that black stuff. After that, I just kind of refine that shape, and then I get a worm of the reddish clay and connect the 2 thingies, the 2 ear parts, together with that red clay. Once this is done, that is the second cat done for this project, and I get to move on. The final cat is Mango, which is an orange cat, so I start with orange. I do the same thing as I did before, pinch out some ears, then refine the shape of the body, refine the shape of the ears. The 2 then get smushed together, blended together, and everything. And then once that's done, I refine the shape again. It's the same thing. This is where I reshape out the ears because I removed them originally, I guess. And then the leg stubs, the other leg stubs, and after all of the leg stubs is the tail stub. After all the stubs get made, I get some balls of clay and attach them to those leg stubs the same way that I did the other 2 times. And once those are attached, I put them in the same position that I put them in the other 2 times. Except they don't really stay this way that time because I have to add something afterwards. However, that doesn't happen yet because I forget about it. Right here I have the front legs, again, in the same style that I have added them for the past 3 times. This is getting really monotonous, and the voiceover, I'm going crazy. It gets added. Again, another arm. Holy shit. It gets blended in, so there's no obvious gap, seam, bump, ruse, and nothing. And then they get pushed down, and then I add the tail on the back. Oh my god. This gets blended in as well. Same thing as literally everything else in this project. It is the same process, except I just move it a different way. Then I refine the shape of the ears for the final time, refine the shape of the tail, and then add a little tuft of white fur on the neck area under the face. After that, I cut off some clay from all of the legs and add a ball of white clay to replace it. Finally, something new. This does not get blended in as it is a different color, and if I blended it in, I think it would look weird. Once I get all of those legs redone so that they're all perfect, I can add the black eyes that are just black dots. Then the triangle with the rounded edges nose, followed by the mouth, which is just a 3. This 3 is just made with just pinching it, and then it gets placed on the head. After that, I make a worm out of some brown clay and put it into 2 circles with a worm connecting the 2 circles. This gets placed on top of the 2 eyes and then made to look like actual glasses. Once the shape is fully good and perfect, I make a worm of a darker orange clay than what the actual body is made of, and just make those in the texture that it looks to have in the game. This is just placed in some perpendicular lines all across the back. This goes one at a time for a little bit, but it is almost done as there is only one more line to add. That line, which then gets shortened, and after all of those, I just blend all of the darker brown into the darker orange into the darker orange without actually blending it into the lighter orange. Once all of this is blended in, this cat is done. Well, with some refined shaping, and with that, and they all get baked, all of these are done, and the project is over.